Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love. I'm also the author of Twin Flame Union, 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, twin flame romance, general readings, life path and purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. Welcome to Twin Flame Questions Answered, where I answer one of your twin flame questions. And today's question is, how do you recognize a twin flame recognition? This was brought by a viewer like you. So if you have questions, please put them in the comment section below. I felt this to be a really intriguing topic, how to recognize a twin flame recognition. I polled some of my clients just to ask them if they remember their twin flame recognition. And so I got some comments to help you really understand when I have like a recognition. Is this person like more like a soulmate, or is it really a twin flame? Because I know that can be confusing sometimes. I've done many videos on the differences between soulmates and twin flames, and I'll put one right here. How about that? But I would say a soulmate, because I've had some sort of recognition with a soulmate before, and a soulmate's kind of like, wow, I feel like we've met before. I feel like I know you. And they're like, yeah, me too. I kind of feel like I know you. I feel like we've met before. And it's kind of a smoothness to the recognition with a soulmate, like someone from your soul family. It's this smoothness. It's almost like both of you kind of realize, hey, I think we've known each other before, we've met before, or maybe it's a past life thing. And it's just a very smooth transition into a friendship, a relationship. It's pretty smooth. So it's usually both parties pretty much recognize this. Both parties realize, hey, we've seen each other before. And then you kind of move on with the relationship. And it might really feel good, but it's not that much of a big deal. With a twin flame, it is just slightly different. Now, sometimes twin flames do have that instant recognition, both of them together, but that's more rare. It is way more common for one of the twin flames to feel that instant recognition and for the other one to be a little bit more in the dark. Now, I'll talk about my experience a little bit before I go ahead and share some key phrases or experiences of some of the clients that I polled, but mine was a little bit different. And I find it funny because I'm the one coaching twin flames and not my twin flame. But mine was a little bit different because it was my twin flame who had the instant recognition and not me. Now, I don't know if he would openly admit that, but when I thought back on the moment that we had our activation, if you will, I know for certain that it was him that had the instant recognition. And here's how I know, is because I said something to him and instantly his entire demeanor changed. His entire persona changed. It was almost as if he looked at me and said, you're my person. This is the person I'm going to marry. And he didn't say that verbally, but his whole body language was saying that. His eyes were saying that. And instead of me going into instant recognition with him, I physically began to back away. It was almost like my body language changed as well, but I recoiled. I took a step back because at the moment, I really didn't realize why his demeanor had changed so drastically from something extremely casual to like all of a sudden, all consuming, I recognize you, you're my person. And I was like, what the heck is happening here? Now, I too had a moment of recognition that he was my twin flame It came a little later though. And I would say the biggest telltale sign for me, and this is a little embarrassing to talk about. I do talk about it in my books and I do talk about it in my boot camps, but I've never really, I don't think I've said it. I don't know. I don't think I've said it in a YouTube video. So it's a little bit embarrassing for me to say it, but I had downloaded a picture of him because I couldn't like outright take a picture of him. I suppose I could have, but I didn't. I was looking at his picture at one point, and this was very early on. This is probably 8 weeks after we met. And I was looking at a picture of him and I had this outpouring of unconditional love for him. And I just was sobbing, like bawling my eyes out. And that happened every time I would look at his picture, as I would just spontaneously start crying with this outpouring of unconditional love for him. And I did not understand what was going on. I couldn't understand what was happening. And so for me, that was kind of the instant recognition or the recognition, because that has never happened in my life with anybody else, just him. Nobody. And it wasn't even an obsession. It wasn't, I miss him. It wasn't anything like that. It was just looking into the picture, into his eyes, was like, I know him and I have this unconditional love for him. And it was the most bizarre thing I have ever felt and probably will ever feel again. But it's truly probably the most bizarre thing that I've ever had in my life. And for me, that was my recognition of my twin flame. For him, it was while I was in his physical presence, but everyone has a slightly different one. That is what most often happens with twin flames, is that one twin flame will have the recognition and the other one will kind of recoil. We'll be like, like, what? Why are you so forward in a way? Or why are you so like certain in a way? It often happens that way rather than having both people at the same time. Now, I have heard of twin flames who have both the instant recognition at the same time, but usually what happens is they both have instant recognition and they have a fast and furious period of like dating or being together, and then it burns out really quickly. And it burns out really quickly because it's like the triggers just happen shortly thereafter. So they do have a recognition with both of them, and it's fast and furious, but then it just fizzles like it started. It's really crazy, but that's what happens. So I asked some of my clients, as I mentioned, about their instant recognition with their twin flame and how do you recognize? And one of my clients said to me that she had opened the door and she looked into her twin flame's eyes. Obviously, she didn't know it was her twin flame, but she opened the door. She looked at this person and said, "Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Like, I've been looking for you my entire life, and there you are." And so for that person, that was the instant recognition. Like, you've been searching and searching and searching and searching your whole life. And then all of a sudden you see your twin flame and you're like, oh my God, there you are. This is the one I've been searching for. So I really liked that one. Oh, there you are. Another twin flame confided in me that when they met their person, they let all their guards down. Now, this twin flame mentioned to me that she normally is pretty guarded when it comes to men or dating. And when she met her twin flame, they were on a first date, and immediately she let her guard down. And she said over the course of the date was this comfort, like that feeling of home, the comfort, like I know him. And she let him do things like, she's like, should never in a million years let anyone do this. Like, you know, he's talking to her, put his hand on her knee or put his hand on her shoulders or, you know, just got closer. And she just felt like this immense sense of comfort. Like, I can't imagine my life without this person. Like, this person will always be in my life. I can't imagine my life without this person. They will always be there. And that's another sense of instant recognition, that comfort feeling, the feeling of home. and the feeling of, I can't really imagine what my life would be without this person because I feel like they will always be in my life. So that's another one. So that's how you kind of would know instant recognition, this intense comfort. Like, I know them already. I'm comfortable with them. I feel like home, and I can't really imagine them not being in my life because this just feels right. So I know some of you twin flames out there have never met your twin flame in person. A lot of you have had virtual relationships with your twin flames, meaning you've met over Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. Maybe you work together and you live in separate countries, and then you see each other on a Zoom meeting. And I know this has happened because I've coached so many of you. And the instant recognition that can happen, even if you haven't had a physical meeting with your twin flame, is the same. It's no different, really. But sometimes it's just like, I know this person. I absolutely know them. I'm so comfortable with this person. I feel like this person is a part of me somehow. And I feel like we have an undying bond. Like, this person just feels like me in a way. And it just comes through this sense of knowingness. And what I always say is, you know that you know that you know. And no one can take away that knowing from you. Once you have a recognition, once you have a knowing that comes from the inside of you, you can't unknow it. And so when you meet your twin flame and know you've met your twin flame, either virtually or in person, it comes through as this knowingness that you just know, that it couldn't be otherwise, that you've known them in previous lifetimes, that you've known them before, but also that there's this intense comfort in knowing them. There's an intense sense of unconditionally loving them, even though you might not know them in person. Like, you might not even know who they are in this 3D existence, but you have this sense of unconditional love for them, just like I had when I saw the photo of my twin flame. I knew him in person, but I didn't really know him in person that well. But just looking at his photo, I was like, I know this person and I love this person unconditionally. And it brought me to tears every time, because it was almost like my soul recognized him and said, this is part of the reason why you're here. And it's that soul recognition that you're like, all right, this is part of my soul's mission. And it brings you to tears, just the way that, like, you might be in church and you hear this beautiful passage that just resonates with you. So I hope this was helpful in demystifying a little bit what the instant recognition, or recognizing a twin flame recognition, what that means and how you can understand if that's what you are experiencing. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bells, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy one of my 10 published books. You can join my Twin Flame Divine Feminine boot camps or my meditation course online. And you can also join my group coaching. The links are all below. And I will see you in the next video.